All right, everyone. After Donald Trump met with Vladimir Putin in Alaska, sadly, no ceasefire deal has yet been reached. This, by the way, is not good for the Trump administration. We've got to admit that completely openly. Still support the dude, but yeah, it didn't really go over so well now, did it? Uh, it didn't go over so well because, he said, well, I think that we can reach a deal. And Vlad seems, receptive and stuff, and then Vlad just leaves. But there does appear to have been some progress made, so that's the good news. Negotiations will have to continue. Now, Donald Trump is meeting with Zelensky in D.C., and I suspect that the same outcome will happen. He will have a dialogue with Zelensky. They'll talk about various ideas for how a peace deal might be conceived of. But I do not believe that that either will result in a ceasefire, let alone a full-on peace deal. In the final ending of these negotiations, which can't be solely brokered by the U.S. anyway, because you got to remember, Russia is one of the great powers in the world. It may not be as strong as it was in the Soviet Union times, but it's nuclear equipped. It does still have a large economy, a top 10 economy, plenty of manpower, and it happens to be in control or partial control of four different provinces in Ukraine. As such, negotiations are going to be very much prolonged. It will be very difficult to get Zelensky on one hand and Putin on the other hand to agree to a situation. I've explained the reason. The reason is quite easy to explain. Vladimir Putin, let's say that he says, yeah, screw this war. We'll take your deal. Whatever deal you're offering. He'll end up getting shot or poisoned or something like that. The Politburo, so to speak, will rise up and kill him or remove him from power, proclaim that he's done something highly illegal, and then they'll throw him in a gulag and he'll just disappear. Zelensky would face the same fate. The people around him, because he's a strong man, just like Putin is, the people around him will come down around him like a pack of wolves if he backs off in any way. This is the problem. Ultimately, you're looking at a situation where negotiation is going to have to last a very, very long time. You're not going to get a quick solution. You might not even get it within Trump's second term, actually. And the U.S. can do only so much to broker this because we've obviously leaned heavily into the support Ukraine thing as a country. Well, the government did, along with liberals who forgot mysteriously about all the articles about Zelensky's corruption from before Russia invaded, and Orange went bad, and TDS and Russiagate and all of these stupid things. It comes to the point where it's going to be kind of difficult to actually make the negotiations finalized. Now, a ceasefire deal, as opposed to a final peace negotiation, that's a little easier. That, I think, does happen, brokered in part by the United States. Basically, okay, freeze the front line, and stop killing one another. Now, there are other problems too. You've got many of them. You've still got a shit ton of casualties on both sides. You now have a massive arms stockpile in Ukraine. Russia is rearming and beginning to try to rebuild its forces. They've clearly been willing to do that for some time, but they're doing it in vogue now. You have, I don't know how many landmines have been deployed in that general region. I'm sure that 50 years from now, a cow is going to stumble through a field and blow its legs off, basically. That's probably what's going to happen. Hell, it happens in Southeast Asia all the time. You remember that story where the elephant staggered out of the jungle, half of one of its front legs was blown off? It happens all the time. It's probably millions of them down there. Uh, Probably millions here, maybe too. So no ceasefire, um, productive dialogue, but let's face it, when you're talking about people getting slaughtered, and a large number of these people are civilians, so these are not people that are actually actively engaged in combat, they're not interested in it, they just want to farm cabbages and shit. And when you're getting war rape, which you always do, by the way, there's no such thing as a moral army, hate to tell you. When you're getting these things happening, the hope is that at the very least, you negotiate some sort of settlement as quickly as possible. So productive dialogue, that's great. Ceasefire deal would be a lot better. Final peace deal would be the best of all. That's going to be quite some way off. I'd be surprised if you got a ceasefire deal before the end of the year. Um, because again, Putin and Zelensky are effectively backed into a corner. You might end up with a situation where the U.S. bribes Zelensky into accepting some sort of ceasefire terms and release Donbass or something like that. That's possible. However, it's unlikely. It's unlikely to happen. You got to realize that Zelensky is still pushing for the return of Crimea. And while Ukraine is actually doing pretty well in battle overall, um, they do lack the kind of manpower that Russia has. And the toys that make the noise, they're not making themselves like Russia generally is doing. Also, Russia has one of the world's biggest drone suppliers in the form of Iran, although they're embattled on a different end. Seems like things have quieted down a bit between Israel and Iran, so I guess that's good news. I don't know if they have like a ceasefire deal or anything like that, and technically I suppose they're still at war, but it doesn't seem like open hostility is quite so common anymore. So, you know, hope for peace, but don't expect it anytime soon. That's about all. Peace out.